Hello everybody, my name is Punarvas Jaikumar. I am a chartered accountant, passionate trainer. I have trained over 15,000 CA students in a career spanning of over 10 years. I am extremely excited and fortunate to be partnering with an academy for CA Foundation, and I'll be handling business laws and BCR paper. So my dear friends, if you want any sort of updates, anything for that matter, I would strongly suggest you right now go and download the Unacademy app. Just go to Play Store, just type Unacademy and you will get Unacademy learning app and you can just install the same. And if you want any kind of updates, notes, tips, audio tips, video tips, etc., please join my exclusive Unacademy Law channel. It's called PJ Law. Go to t.me/PJ Law and it'll take you right to my channel and you can enjoy important notes, audio clips, video clips, etc. And guys, we also have our exclusive CA Foundation English channel where all the educators and learners come together. This is exclusive English channel, so please join our Telegram channel CA Foundation English as well. My dear friends, an exciting announcement. We have already started the CA Warrior batch. This is a fast track batch for CA Foundation December 21 examination. It is going to be exclusively in English. We have already started. Paper 2 will be handled by me, Punarvas Jaikumar, and the quant portion will be handled by my very good friend and a co-educator, CA Neeraj Mahajan sir. You're gonna love his classes. So we will cover very all important topics, and in law we'll cover everything exhaustively, and BCR will do a quick revision. PDF notes will be shared. So as far as law is concerned, it's gonna be from August 18 to maybe, since now exam has been postponed to December, we'll also have it in the October first week or something. And exhaustive analysis of paper number 2. Live classes, guys. It's not recorded. Live classes. There will be quizzes, there will be doubt solving sessions, and unlimited access. You can watch it anytime, anywhere apart from live. I will also discuss the presentation techniques. I'll also give you revision notes, Q&A notes, and specially curated handcrafted color charts for one day before the exam revision. It is going to be almost 60 plus hours. Sir, I also want to check some demo classes if you feel like that. Guys, these classes are on Unacademy Plus. So unless you have a subscription of Unacademy Plus or Unacademy Iconic, you cannot access these classes. Alright. However, if you want some other revision classes, free classes, if you want free sessions, please download the Unacademy app. Go to the special classes section. Get access to our free special classes by various amazing educators, and you will also earn credits while you watch them. So please check out the free special classes option. On that note, my dear friends, let us begin today's session. So guys, what are you waiting for? Step number 1, go to Unacademy Learning app. Step number 2, hit install. That's it. That's all you need to do. And go to CA Foundation Plus and check out these two subscription plans, Plus and Iconic. I told you the difference. My personal suggestion would be go with the 24 months plan. Why? I'll tell you why. Because with the Iconic subscription, you will get 12 months. There is a combo, guys, CA Foundation and Intermediate. 12 months combo, 24 months combo. If you take the 24 months combo, the good thing is you'll also get time to study intermediate also. So we have the CA Foundation and Inter combo both in Plus as well as Iconic. And dear friends, there is something called as Unacademy Combat Scholarship Test every Sunday at 12 p.m. Participate in the quiz, and if you get good results, if your rank is 1 to 3, then 4 to 10, 11 to 50 and 51 to 200, amazing scholarships. You're getting 50% off, 25% off. Enroll now. The code would be PJ Sir Law. And dear friends, if you go to my channel on Unacademy, I'll tell you more about it. Before that, as I told you, limited time offer. If you buy for 12 months, you'll get 2 months free. Same for both the Iconic and the Plus subscription. But I would request you go for the 24 months plan, because you'll get not only foundation but also time to finish your CA Inter. Please guys, follow me on unacademy.com/Punarvas Jaikumar. Please do that. Please follow me. it'll help me also, and you obviously can check out all the special classes that I've released. So the next part in the concept capsule would be, my dear friends, classes of companies under the Act. Very, very important, regularly asked in the examination. I'll also be opening the BEAR Act to show you what are the various classes of companies under Companies Act. So we'll also check in the entire BEAR Act. And if you saw yesterday, the definition of the company in the Companies BEAR Act was completely different, in the sense that unlike what we saw in the other areas, Companies Act definition, the Companies Act definition, company was very, very straightforward. We saw Lord Haney and other people telling about companies in different ways, but it's direct as far as company law is concerned. So let's see section number 2 to understand what I am trying to tell. So this is the definition of company, and then we will see the various types of companies. Everything is given in the definition itself. So first, 2 clause 20, if you see, my dear buddies, 2 clause 20. Company means a company. I have already discussed, when I Act uses the word means, no other meaning can be given. It is exhaustive and it is restrictive in nature. Company means a company incorporated under this Act or under any other previous law. Under previous company law. Both are slightly different, friends, because first of all, guys, company means a company incorporated under Companies Act or previous company law. Tell me one question, is foreign company a company? If you see this definition, means a company incorporated under this Act. Is a foreign company incorporated under this Act? No. Would a foreign company be there under any circumstance? No. So foreign company is not incorporated under Companies Act. So foreign company, is it a company strictly speaking? No. Then what is a foreign company then? So foreign company, my dear friends, would be part of a body corporate, 2 clause 11. So whenever I use the word body corporate, it means any separate legal entity. Any separate legal entity. Whenever I use the word body corporate, means separate legal entity. Now you see, body corporate or corporation includes a company incorporated outside India. So body corporate or corporation includes a company incorporated outside India. So basically, a foreign company will not be a company because it is not given in the definition as such. Company definition as per Companies Act is what? Very simple. Company's definition as per Companies Act is what? Very, very simple. That which has been incorporated under the Companies Act. Simple. But what is a body corporate? Body corporate includes a company incorporated outside India also, but does not include these things. So that we'll see later. Basically, guys, foreign company is different. Now, if you see, when I say company, I've already told you company 2 clause 20. It can be incorporated, it can be unincorporated. There's nothing called unincorporated company. Unincorporated will be other associations like association of person, body of individuals. This can be Hindu Undivided Family, Indian Partnership Act, partners, separate thing. There is nothing called unincorporated. Incorporated we have. On the basis of incorporation, my dear friends, we have what all? On the basis of incorporation, they are what all, guys? First of all is registered company. First of all is registered company. One second. Registered company means what? Which is registered by the registrar of companies. These are companies which are incorporated. Statutory companies are given by a certain law or statute. For example, LIC, UTI, all these are governed by separate laws. LIC is by LIC Act, UTI, Unit Trust of India is by UTI Act. Chartered companies are those companies which are a special charter of the Queen, or in olden days. The Queen, by her special charter or an order, she was establishing companies, those are called chartered companies. So we have chartered accountant who is chartered as per a separate law called Chartered Accountants Act 1949, governed by a special law. So chartered companies are no longer there, in the sense that generally everything again is registered and incorporated nowadays. So we have the registered company, we have the statutory company and chartered company. But in registered company, we can see on the basis of liability, company limited by shares, company limited by guarantee, and unlimited company. And if you see the definition here, company, if you see the definition of company, limited by guarantee, limited by shares, 2 clause 22, 2 clause 21. Guys, section numbers are not important, only for your reference I am writing. Section numbers are not important, I am only writing for your reference. Please note. Right. So if you see the definition, company limited by shares means a company have the liability of its members limited by the memorandum on only the unpaid shares held by them. So guys, the beauty about Companies Act is the liability is always limited. The liability is always limited. Limited by shares means what? The liability is based on the unpaid capital. If the value is 10 rupees, I have paid full 10 rupees, then no liability. The value is 10 rupees and I have only paid 4 rupees, 6 rupees. What is my liability? Remaining unpaid amount, 4. The value is 10 rupees and the paid amount is 8 rupees. Unpaid is 2 rupees. Correct? So, my liability is only to the extent of the unpaid share capital, nothing else. So again, there are various types of companies called private and public. We'll see that later. Company limited by guarantee is what, guys? In company limited by guarantee, I don't have shares, but I'm a member and I have given a promise. I've made a promise that if the company goes for winding up, I will pay this amount. In a company limited by guarantee, I have made a promise. And the promise is, if the company doesn't do well, if the company goes for liquidation, I will pay this particular amount. That is company limited by guarantee. C means a company having the liability of the members limited by the memorandum to such amount as the members may respectively undertake to contribute in the event of liquidation. So in a company limited by guarantee, what happens, guys? Liabilities to what extent? To the extent of liabilities to what extent? To the extent of amount that you will contribute. amount that you will contribute. At the time of winding up. So here I will say, let's say member A would have said I'll pay 10,000. Member B would have told I'll pay 20,000 if the company goes for winding up. I will contribute towards the, I have to pay off outsiders. No, I will contribute 1 lakh. I will contribute 10,000. I will contribute 15,000, 20,000. That is called company limited by guarantee. And sometimes you'll have company limited by guarantee plus share capital, company limited by guarantee without share capital also. It can be mixed also, guys. Some shares also I'll have, some, guarantee also I'll have. Some shares, some guarantee, both. Next part is what? Unlimited company. Unlimited company means what, guys? In this is like partnership firm. Liability is unlimited. If anything happens, members have to pay unlimited liability. Unlimited liability. Means what? The liability is personal liability to the extent that you need to pay off the entire liability. There are very, very few unlimited companies in India, my dear friends. No one would opt themselves to be part of an unlimited company. Very, very few closely held family businesses have unlimited companies. Liability of the members is limited by its memorandum. So basically, guys, the constitution of the company is the MOA and the AOA. We need to discuss it slightly later. Memorandum of Association, Articles of Association. So Articles of Association speaks about the internal regulations of the company. Memorandum of Association talks about the external regulations of the company. External means what? It's like a constitution. If any outsider wants to see what the company is doing, if an outsider wants to understand what the company is doing, what should I see? MOA, AOA. Memorandum of Association, Articles of Association. If I want to see what an outsider is, outsider wants to see what the company is doing. So in company limited by shares, that's what? Liability is limited. In company limited by guarantee, it is limited to the extent of contribution to the assets. What are the common things between limited by shares and guarantee? Both, what happens? Both are legal entities and both have limited liability. But the distinction is what? In a company limited by capital, the members may be called upon only after the commencement of winding up. Which one? In the case of company limited by guarantee. When can I ask for my money back, my dear friends? When can I ask for that contribution? Only when the winding up begins. Whereas in case of company limited by shares, I can ask for the money anytime. Company has issued shares for 10 rupees and paid up value is only 6 rupees. The company now wants more funds. Can they call for the remaining 4 rupees? Yes. But in a company limited by guarantee, that is not the case. It will only happen at the time of winding up. This is some of the small differences between the two, but this is one type of company for sure. So this case law not important, but we'll just read since it's given. Supreme Court has laid down the right of a guarantee company to refuse to accept the transfer of shares is on a different footing than the company limited by shares. So guys, company limited by guarantee, since I'm contributing, it is more personal in nature, more for a family business. So these family businesses open guarantee company, unlimited company, where two groups of families come together. Same thing initially happened in Tata Sons way back. Now it's a full public company. But if you see Tata Sons and Mistry, the Shapoorji Pallonji group, these two, Tata and Shapoorji Pallonji group, were family friends. They started Tata Sons. In Tata Sons, 19% is held by, 18.7% is held by Shapoorji Pallonji, and the remaining is held by Tata Sons. So earlier they also had an unlimited company, then they had a guarantee company. Now they said, okay, let's open it to the public also. And it have many companies branched out under Shapoorji Pallonji, right? TCS, then your entire Tata Motors, then your Tata Sky, all these things. Unlimited company, we have seen liability of the each member extends to the whole amount of the company's debts. You see this is good enough. No limit on the liability of members. The liability ceases when he ceases to be a member. Ceases means stops. The liability stops when he stops to be a member. Liability is not unlimited till the time company is not wound up. Only when the company is wound up, then it happens. Right? So the liability of each member extends to the company's debt and liability. So to that extent, you have to pay. Next, two other types of companies. Will come to this OPC in a while. Before that, we need to understand private and public company. Guys, private company is given in 2 clause 68. Private company means a company having a minimum paid up share capital as may be prescribed. Guys, this prescribed means what? Earlier, central government via the rules had stated that the minimum share capital should be 1 lakh rupees. One lakh. Later in 2015, they said, how can you expect everybody to have 1 lakh to start the business? So you know what they did? In the year 2015, my dear friends, they deleted this concept. As of today, You don't have to have any minimum share capital. You can start a normal bank account with 5,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees. With a 10,000 rupees only, you can start a company. Right? So, private company means a company. Now, more importantly, which by its article. So, guys, in a private company, in the articles of association, these points must be there. RLP. Articles of association are speak about the internal regulations of the company. It gives the internal restrictions of the company. Memorandum of association talks about what the company does, what the company will do in the future, all those things. Like for example, the memorandum of association will talk about the name of the company, where the company is located, what are the main objects of the company, what is the liability of the company, what is the type of company, is it a company limited by shares, limited by guarantee, is it a private company, public company, all that will be spoken about by whom? Memorandum of association. By whom? Memorandum of association. Whereas in articles of association, they speak about what are the directors' rights, what are the members' rights, what to do, what not to do, and all these things. So, in a private limited company, what happens? Restricting the right to transfer the shares. Restricting the right to transfer the shares. Limiting the number of members to 200. Restricting the right to transfer the shares. Limiting the number of members to 200. Prohibiting invitation of what? To the public to subscribe for any securities of the company. Invitation to subscribe for securities. Guys, these are very important points. RLP, restricting the right to transfer the shares, limiting the number of members to 200, prohibiting invitation to the members to subscription of securities. Means a company having. So first of all, guys, it's an exhaustive definition. Restricting the right to transfer, mind you, it is a restriction, not a prohibition. In a private company, can one person transfer share to the other person? Possible, but it is restricted. What are the restrictions? You have to see the AOA itself. It is not a prohibition. Second, limits the number of members to 200. Limits the number of its members to 200. You will see, leave one person company. But guys, what is the, I'll explain this later. Maximum number of members, how many guys? 200. So first of all, you have to write these wordings, guys. Please note these wordings are important. Restricting the right to transfer shares. Mind you, not prohibiting, restricting. Second, limiting the number of members to 200. Limiting the number of members to 200. Third, prohibiting invitation to public. This is prohibited. As a private limited company, I'll come to this also. As a private limited company, I am prohibited. I cannot at any cost issue shares to the public. To the general public, I cannot issue securities. Securities means is defined in Securities Contract Regulation Act, my dear friends. This means you cannot issue equity shares, you cannot issue preference shares, you cannot issue debentures, you cannot issue bonds, you cannot trade in mutual fund units, you cannot issue derivative instruments. Basically, none of these things you can do. That is the meaning of securities. This is the meaning of securities. So guys, as a private company, first of all, if you are a member, you cannot transfer to somebody else so easily. There are a lot of restrictions. That restrictions depend on the facts of the case. Limiting the number of members to 200. The number of members would be limited to what? Just 200 people. Minimum will be 2, maximum 200. The moment it goes beyond 200, it is no longer a private company. Prohibition of invitation for subscription for securities. I am going to prohibit you from inviting others subscribe for the securities of the company. Securities means, so basically you will not invite the public at all. You will not invite the public at all. You cannot give shares to the public. If you give shares to the public, it becomes a public company. Now, few questions. Question number 1. If you are an employee of the company, let's say you are an employee of the company, you are the employee of the private limited company. You have been very good to the company. Company allots 5 shares to you because of your good work. Will you be counted in that 200? Answer is no. Second, the same employee, when you have left the job, but you are still holding those 5 shares. Basically, now you have become an ex-employee. Ex-employee still holding those 5 shares. Ex-employee holding those 5 shares. Will you be a, what do you say? Will you be counted in that 200? Will you be counted in that 200? Answer is no. Then, 4 people hold 1 share. Will I count it as 4 members or will I count it as 1 member? What do you think? 4 members are taken as 1 member. So these are the 3 things, guys. Check it out. Personally, who are in the employment of the company, persons who are in the employment of the company, persons who, having been formerly in the employment of the company, were members of the company while in that employment, have continued to be members even after the employment have ceased. Nothing but ex-employees. Persons who are in the employment of the company but who have got shares. Second, persons who have formerly been in the employment, ex-employee who still have the shares, shall not be counted as the number of members. Where 2 or more persons hold 1 or more shares in a company jointly, they shall be treated as a single member. That is the scene. And since except in case of OPC is given, OPC is also a private company, but the beauty about OPC, my dear friends, is minimum number of members is also 1, maximum number of members is also 1. That's why it says except in case of 1 person company. Limits the number of members to 200, but in a 1 person company, minimum is also 1, maximum is also 1. Clear? So employee holding shares is not counted in this 200. Ex-employee holding shares not counted in this 200. Only 1 person company is 1 member. That's it. Then what is a public company? See, it's not properly organized here. Small company and OPC etc. has to be done later. So guys, I'll make a structure now for you. See, one is a private company, one is a public company. In private company, you have OPC, small company, and other private company. What we have done now is 2 clause 68 other private company. OPC and small company yet to be done. Public company is 2 clause 71. Public company is very simple. Company other than private company is a public company. Any company other than private company is a public company. Very simple. And guys, in a public company earlier, minimum paid up capital was 5 lakh rupees. That also has been deleted. No longer 5 lakh rupees. You can have any amount, no problem. So basically, any company other than private means what? RLP point is not there here, which means there is no restriction on transfer of shares. Means what, guys? Shares will be freely transferable. Second, limiting the number of members to 200, no problem. Maximum number of members, unlimited, infinity. Third one, prohibiting the issue of shares. No prohibition, freely you can issue to public. That is the meaning of public company. That is the meaning of public company. Guys, seeing this definition, some people wanted to do a scam. What scam they did? What scam they can do? They opened a public company, started taking money from everybody, then slowly transferred that money to one more private company. Super. First of all, public company took money from everybody, slowly transferred that money to whom? A private company. Here many members are there, here 2-3 members are there. The same directors started looting. Can you do this? Yes or no? Can you use public money and divert it to private company and start using it on your own? No. So in the public company definition only there is one superb line. And let's say this is a subsidiary. They opened a subsidiary company and diverted everything to the private company. This should be not allowed at all. There is one dialogue which says a private company which is a subsidiary of a public company is also deemed to be a public company. Private company which is a subsidiary of a public company is deemed to be a public company. So guys, this is also a public company. Even this was a public company. Because they should not cheat, no? This also they made it a public company. Now you see this. Small company we'll see later. See. It is not a private company. Shares are freely transferable. No minimum paid up capital requirement. Minimum number of members is 7. In private company, minimum is 2. Here it is 7. Maximum number of numbers, no limit. Subsidiary of a public company is deemed to be a public company. Deemed means assumed. Assumed. What is the minimum number in private company? 2. Minimum number in public company? 7. So these are all the types. In the next concept capsule session, my dear friends, we will also discuss the other types now. This is types of companies, session number 1. Next one will be session number 2. We'll discuss the types of companies. Okay? Thank you so much for watching this video, my dear friends. Please subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell icon because any important video released by me or any of the educators on this CA Foundation and Academy English channel, you will get a notification. Please like this video, share it among your friends, and also please leave your comments in the comment section. If you want to watch any special class of mine on the Unacademy platform, the code is PJ Sirlaw. If you want to buy any product, the code is PJ Sirlaw to get a 10% discount. Please download the Unacademy Learners app, and in the special class you can also get all the notes as well. You can download. On that note, see you until next time, my dear friends. Love you all. Bye, my CA warriors. Cheers.